How are you guys doing? Good. All right. So a big shout out to everyone out there. So if you can hear my voice loud and clear, type the word yes at the chat box right now. So we know that everything's working well on your side. Hi, Robert. Hi, Vesna. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, David. Okay. Hi, Ingrid. Hi, Castro, Mailing. Wow, there are so many of you here. So I see a lot of yeses here. So which means that the video and the audio is working. So it's good to know, right? As you know, sometimes the line is up and down, right? So it's good to catch all of you here at this right moment here where I can actually interact with every one of you here. I think one of the part of the beauty of online here is we can manage to actually talk to everyone around the world, right? So and if some of you here encounter some problem with the hear the sound or something, please refresh your browser, your web browser here, and you're good to go. Okay, all right. So and for some of you are very new here, let me just introduce myself a little bit. My name is Iverson. I'm a consultant from Joe Yap Consulting Group. So, and what I do on my daily my job here is I do a lot of consults. Then I do a lot of teaching and also a lot of coaching. And I also actually an instructor. So actually, if someone that actually needs some learn how to actually learn the strategy to improve their life. So this is what I do, on daily basis here. So and as right now, I'm actually online with all of you here, sharing knowledge, right? Knowledge about how do we actually improve our life by using specific proven principles based on Chinese metaphysics system, right? Why I'm so passionate about this, because I've seen this working for myself and also seen this working on all my clients that have the privilege to serve as well. So I'm excited to actually bring this tool and to share this tool on the strategy, to help all of you actually apply one or two methods so you can actually see some improvement. I think all changes here start with awareness, right? By knowing what problem you're facing in the first place is the first step to changing everything. Don't you think so? Right? So a lot of the tools that we are using, the first step here, we're always talking about awareness, right? So and that's how we initiate the first step of change here. So, okay, as we are talking right now, I see more and more people are joining in here. All right, welcome. So, before we continue this, let me just tell you what is the agenda of today, right? So today, as usual, then this would be today is a bit special, right? So normally I do a webinar, right? I'm going to share with you some of the thing I think is useful to everyone. And then there's a webinar that I do usually. But today, there'll be a little bit special here, is where I actually combine this webinar with one more part into it. Which means that I'm going to actually announce, as I promised on my website, I'm going to announce something new to everyone, right? And I'm sure that you're going to like it. So are you excited for that or not? Right? So it's something new. I haven't told anyone before. So if you are actually logged in here in this webinar, you are the first batch of people in the world to get to know this piece of news here. So there will be an announcement to everyone on this webinar here. So are you excited or not? If you're excited about this, type the word yes in the chat box right now so I know who you are. Wow, so many of you here. Okay, so I'm as excited as you are, right? So, and thanks for making your time actually joining this. Right, so I think that life is happiness is about progress, right? So the moment we discover something new, we learn something new. Like some of the people are not happy, right? Sometimes we advise them, you go and buy stuff. Why people that are unhappy or they're having stress, they go to window shopping, right? Because you want to buy something new, right? Something the moment, whether it's knowledge or products or sometimes it's a handbags or a device, right? So whatever it is, right? The moment you get something new, you feel happy, don't you think so? Right? So a lot of people, that resorts to shopping therapy, right? The moment they actually whenever they're not happy with their work, let's say they have a tough day at work, then actually what they do after work, they went shopping, right? They go shopping and then they buy something they love, then they're fine again. Yeah, but the thing here, how long can the happiness stay? Yeah, that's the question, right? But nevertheless, whenever something new coming in our life, yeah, so we feel happy. Why? Because all progress represent happiness, right? So if you're talking about, if you're asking Iverson, what is the secret to happiness? It's very, very simple, right? All happiness boils down to one thing. Are you making progress on daily basis or not? If you are, not necessarily just financial standpoint of view. So it could be a relationship, it could be your health, right? So as long, right, we make incremental progress on it, then we'll feel happy. So today, we're going to make one more progress because I'm going to announce something new and I'm going to leave it at the end of the webinar, right? So because remember, I told you here, there are two parts of it. The first part, I'm going to share with you something I think that is important, right? And I teach you how to read your chart, all those things. And then the second part of this event here, I'm going to actually give you a very big surprise here. Yeah, something that I think that is something that a lot of people asking me. Actually, when I post this on Facebook, a lot of people asking me actually, what is this something new is all about? Yeah, so that's why I asked them, if you want to know, right? Yeah, tune in, right? Tuning in, like all of you here actually doing right now, right? Okay, so. First of all, today, the first part, remember there are two parts. Yeah, before I announce something new, I'm going to share with you some sharing here about something that I feel that is useful to everyone here. So how about you using your parser at the higher level, right? Don't you think it's good to know about that part? So in order to actually learn how to do this, first of all, I would like to know how many of you here actually already are, I would say, a seasoned parser user. Right? At least you know how to read a basic ingredient. I'm using the word ingredient here. I can't believe that. Okay, the content in the parser box, right? So if you are actually able to read some part of the parser in your own destiny chart, type the word yes in the comment box right now. Yeah, type the word yes or me. All right. Okay, cool. Right. So many of you here actually have some basic of parser. Is good, right? So it's good. So you can find this webinar here is beneficial. But if you don't know anything, right, you're totally new, you are very basic, you are the basic of the basic of the basic and of the basic again, right? And you're getting worried right now, yeah, don't let it be, right? Because, right, I would say that everyone will have a first time of doing something. You know, all expert are once a beginner. Yeah, so the way I designed this webinar here is to also to serve all those newcomers or the beginner. Right now you're beginner, but one year after today, you know, you're not, right? So and you can't you actually, we cannot believe that, you know, how much we can actually achieve in 1 year, right? A lot of people underestimate, yeah, what they can achieve in 1 year. Actually, there's a lot we can do that, right? So now after I know some of you here, part of you are, I think 40% of you here are quite consider advanced user. How about all those new people? You are totally new here. Type the word me right now. I want to see all the beginner. Yeah, so I want to gauge, right? Sometime maybe we can create a poll inside this. Can anyone like Gina? Can you create a poll? Yeah, so like a beginner or advanced and expert, right? Three things, so they can actually give a poll, so I can have a gauge. You know, who am I talking to, right? So wow, so many beginners here. All right, good, right? So and then it's even a more a better reason for you to learn this right now, because if you're a beginner, yeah, you'll start with a clean slate, right? You start with a fresh of white paper, so you don't have so many confusion, right? You ask about how about this, how about that, right? Because you have new, everything you just absorb, right? So, but if you learn something, then our mind tends to be focused on complicated side. We tend to actually combine information, and then we mix all the information together, and we confuse half of ourselves, right? So this is I think the benefit of become a beginner, or you start as a beginner. A good thing here is you can absorb faster. Okay, all right. So now I see some part already see all your chat box right now. Some of you are really already know parts, some of you didn't. So if some of you are very new here, let me just share you the link that you can actually click to actually plot your parts chart. Yeah, let me share with you the link right now. Give me a moment here. Okay, I'm going to share with you this link. Yeah, so this is one for beginner. Okay, all right. So do you see this link here? So this link here is the link for the Parter chart, www.joeyup.com/BZ chart or BZ chart here. So these are the link. You can click on it and then you get the chart. Because to enjoy and benefit from this webinar today, you need to get your chart ready. Okay, so this is the link. Let me repeat again, joeyup.com/BZ chart. So this is a link that you're going to actually look into it. Okay, so now since everyone is ready right now, so let's start this webinar today. So today, as the title indicate, today we're going to talk about, how do you use your parser in the highest level. Yeah, but whenever people think about highest level, people always think about complicated stuff. Right? That's how our mind works, right? Everything we talk about advanced level or highest level, then we always think that, it must be a special formula, and that you might need so many few hours to actually derive the meaning. So people assume that the moment something is complicated, it must be a higher level. Yeah, but in life, do you realize that the most profound thing in life actually is very, very simple, right? But people tend to complicated things, right? Yeah, I still remember one time in a forum, someone asked Bill Gates, you know who is Bill Gates, right? The founder of Microsoft. And he asked Bill Gates, how do I make money, right? How do you advise me for someone that earn less than 25,000 per annum, right? So do you know how Bill Gates replied this guy? It's very, very simple, but there's so much truth in it. What he replied is like this. Only three words here. Invest in education. This is exactly what Bill Gates replied. Right? It's very simple. I don't think that this is the answer that the asker expect Mr. Bill to reply. But do you realize that this is the real truth? This is the essence of everything. Because I think you better believe Bill Gates, right? He's the wealthiest guy in the world, right? So there must be something that he possessed, or be the wisdom that allowed him to become so successful, right? So he say only three words here: invest on education, right? So invest in education, then that's it, right? Because he knew that the moment you becoming better, right? You become better of who you used to be yesterday, then you become more valuable. Therefore, you can attract more money come into your life. Don't you think so? Right? That's the same reason why we send our children go to school, right? Why want to do that? So we want to help them to become a better person, right? They know more, they have more skill to offer, therefore they can make more money, right? So therefore, sometimes a lot of things about life actually is very simple, right? But people tend to complicate the things. So one will tell from the start, because a lot of people assume, since I wasn't talk about something like a higher level of parter, is it mean something very, very hard? No, right? If I also notice that a lot of those are, I would say, advanced user or expert or master, I observe when I observe how they read the chart for someone, actually they use a very, very simple way to do it, So purely just based on 5 elements. Sometimes not even 5 elements, just yin and yang, and then the whole reading is done, right? So yeah, this is the one that we need to get into, right? Because in the end, the reason we learn parter is not about, it's not because we fall in love with the characters, like 5 elements, or fall in love with the dragon, with the horse, it's not like that, right? So the reason we learn parter is because we want certain outcome. Don't you think so? We want a better outcome in life, be in finance, be in relationship, be in health, right? No matter what it is, there must be something that we want. So let me ask you right now, what you truly want in your life right now, right? Type in the comment box. Yeah, what are you truly want right now? I mean truly mean must be honest, right? So what it is, type in the comment box right now. Yeah, that's the first step of using parter. Right, type it on the comment box. I'm actually looking at the chat box right now, so I want to see what is your response, so I can decide, what is the thing I'm going to actually touch about. All right, a lot of people talk about money, right? Some of you talk about health, success, maintain current. I'm not sure what are you maintaining current weight or current job. Yeah, you need to be clear. So a lot of you here actually talk about wealth, purpose of life, knowledge. Okay, all right. So there are no right or wrong on this, right? So because success is really, really simple. The moment, right? The moment you get what you want, you're already successful. Don't you think so? Right? Because success here is very relative, right? It's relative to what you want here. So the moment you're able to define it, then that's the first step of getting it. Because if you're not defining in the first place, right? So you don't know where to go. That's why a lot of people say, I'm lost, I'm not happy, you know, all this thing here, right? So now you know, right? Now you know that some of you say that's happiness and peace of mind. Okay, very good. Some of you say it's health. Now is good, right? So your job right now is to actually fine tune it. Yeah, make it more specific, because the more specific you are on your goal here, is easier for you to actually achieve it. I notice a lot of you here actually. I think there's a poll. Yeah, okay, so there's a poll right now. Someone keyed a poll. Wow, I'm surprised. I'm looking at the poll in real time right now, and I discovered that wealth is the is the highest. Okay, all right. So let's see here. So the poll is still going on. Wealth actually constitute of 62%. And then the second one is relationship, 19%. So actually wealth is the winner here, right? Wealth for the win. Okay, all right. So that's why I told you why I like doing all this talk here, because it depends on what you want, right? I designed the whole thing here, depends on what you truly want in life. So since you're asking for wealth, almost like 60% out of so many things here. So, and let's talk about wealth first, right? So then you might ask, right? Some of you say, okay, right? So wealth is not the most important, right? Health is more important. Yes, I wouldn't say that health is not important, right? Relationship also important, right? Because our happiness are direct reflection of the quality of our relationship, right? So I wouldn't discount on that. So what do you mean here? I think a lot of you here, you're mentioning about wealth is not just the money itself, it's not the mean to an end, right? So I think the reason you actually choose wealth just now, a lot of you here chose the wealth around 60% is because of one thing, right? You believe that money can give you something that you defined just now, right? Think about this. Some of you here talking about health, right? So in order to have a great health, don't you think if you have more financial freedom, you can actually gain more health? First of all, you don't need to worry about your job. Do you realize that 90% of the disease actually resulted from stress at work? Right? So if you have financial freedom, I'm not saying you must become a billionaire. I'm talking about financial freedom means that you don't need to worry for money. You don't need to work for money, right? Money is enough for you. So don't you think your stress level will reduce? Because I have a lot of friends that are, a lot of them are doctors. They told me that, a lot of illness actually resulted from stress. Yeah, it's work related because they worry about money, right? So if you have a more health, more wealth you have, don't you think your stress level on work will reduce as well? Right? I'm not saying that wealthy people cannot become sick. They still can become sick, right? But if you are become sick, don't you think you have a better access to all the medical facilities in the world, right? All the best doctor, you have all the access because you have the resources to do so, right? So you think about this, right? Some people say, family is more important, children more important. But if you have more wealth here, right? Don't you think you can send your children to a better school? Right, a better school condition where they have mixed with different groups of people that more are where their parents or your children schoolmates parents also very is somebody, right? So don't you think that they actually affect a lot of our area here? And then if you have financial freedom, you can travel whenever you like. You don't need to tie down to your desk bound job, right? That's the thing. So I would say that I want all of us here to consider the possibility of having financial freedom, right? We are not money minded, but think about how much freedom, right? That if you have a financial wealth here, you're financially wealthy, how much freedom you can get, right? So therefore, I think that why there are so many people of you just now selected wealth as the main priority right now is because wealth can fund your goals, right? Whatever passion you want to work with, charity foundation or whatever, it can fund your goals, can make your goals become sooner, and also sometimes be easier as well, or not, right? So I would say that is a good goal to have. So if you have more wealth and then you have more time, you can spend time with your family, your relationship will improve, right? You can make your family environment become better. You have better health. You have time to exercise. You are less stressed, right? Because you need to always think about work anymore, right? All these are deadline. So overall, it's pretty good. Okay. So now, since all of you here actually talking about wealth is a lot of you here want to talk about wealth. So let's be it, right? So let's follow the flow here. So how do we do this, right? A lot of time, I think that when we read the parts, there are so many angles. Yeah, we can actually read the chart. So I think some of you here are seasoned practitioner or you are regular parts reader. You also have certain, I would say, technique to assess the wealth element in the chart, right? So let me ask you, right? After you assess the wealth element in your chart, let's say you know how to do it, and then after you assess, you know how to assess the wealth element in your chart. Is your life change after you know all this information? Is your life change instantaneously? No, right? It's still the same. Because right, whether your life change or not is not about what you know, right? It's whether you take action or not, right? So every time, yeah, we read certain information, right, we need to read it in the way that is an action step, right? So your ability to convert what you discovered in the chart into specific action or strategy, so that is the one that you can actually doing it, right? So let me this is the one that I want to actually share with you, because a lot of people think that after I know parts suddenly I become rich, right? It's not, right? So knowledge only powerful when it act upon, right? So this is the part that we are actually doing here. So and how do we do this, right? So how do we look for the path of wealth? There are so many techniques to do this, right? There are so many techniques. Some of you learn parts. We talk about assessing direct wealth and indirect wealth, right? There's so many access to it. So today, I want to actually boil down to something more, I would not say simple, I think something more deeper. So at least you know the path of your wealth first, right? So because overall, it's not about your role first, or whether you're wealthy or not, because your chart, whether you're wealthy or not, right, you still need to make money, right? So those information is irrelevant actually, right? A lot of people ask, will I become rich or not, right? The chart doesn't say you're going to become rich. The chart just say capacity, right? But even your chart have low capacity, it doesn't mean you don't need to work, right? You still need to work. So in the end, asking yes or no question will not actually serve you in any way. I think more importantly is to know, how can I use the chart, right? How can I use the chart? So today I'm going to share with you one information that normally I didn't share with a lot of people. Yeah, because a lot of people keep obsessing with, looking for the wealth element. If they have, they're happy. If they don't have, they become depressed. They cannot sleep at night. This is what usually people do with the chart, right? So today I'm going to give you, I would say, a higher view, or I would say an overview of your direction of your wealth or your flow of wealth. Don't you think it's good to know that? Right? So if you want to know your flow of wealth or the direction of wealth, type the word yes in the chat box right now. Okay. All right. Okay, see all of you here typing yes. Okay, cool. So now, yeah, once we actually, how do we do this, right? So I need you to take out your bar chart right now. Yeah, take out, is your bar chart ready? Right, so look at your bar chart. So your bar chart, I want you to actually hold on. Let me show you on my screen as well, so you can actually look at it. So I want you to look at your bar chart first. Your bar chart, I want you to look at one part is the 5 structure. Do you able to look at the 5 structure? Hold on, something I need to actually zoom out from my screen here. I want to load a browser chart. Okay, finally I able to do it. So let me share my screen. I just pull up a sample bar chart right now. So there you go. Can you see my screen or not? I just shared my screen. So I want you to look at the 5 structures here. Okay, see, this is the 5 structures. Yeah, this part here. Right, this part. So this part, I want you to actually pay attention to several things, which I'm going to share with you right now. Okay, all right. So once you actually located this one at the bottom of your chart, so I want you to pay attention to this one. You see there's a word wealth here, right? So there's a word wealth here, isn't it? So this wealth element is appear on everyone's chart. Yeah, so the only difference is, is the rating of the wealth element, right? So this one, if you're talking about wealth, this one is wealth element. Okay, this is a wealth element. So I put a dollar sign there. So now I want you to actually assess what is the power of your wealth element. So if you look at the chart from the center will be 0. Then you want to look at the dot. But in the chart, there are two shapes in the box, right? One is a beige color, one is the purple color. So we are not looking at the purple color box because that one is represent annual. It will change annually. What we are looking at right now, or we must looking at, is the beige color. So if you look at the wealth element, so do you discover that there's a dot? This is the one that we're looking at because we're looking at the beige color, right? So this one is the wealth element. So of course the screen here, you might not can see it very well, but you can see from the chart, right? So if it's in this one is around 50%. But this is not your chart. This is a sample chart, right? So I want all of you here right now to actually look at your chart. Look at your chart right now. Okay, so let me just clear this. You look at your chart again, and then I want you to actually look at your wealth, and then look at what is the percentage. All right, so okay, Enka say 95%. Wow, okay, a lot. So type your percentage in the box right now. Okay, Douglas say is 60. Forrest Lim say is 0. Okay, Tina 75%. Okay, very good. So Enza say is 40%. Some of you are 60%. Okay, very good. Okay, even you don't know BaZi, right? It's not that hard to learn, right? We make this so simple for you because I think that a lot of time when people start to learn BaZi, people will start with such a question. They'll ask, what is my wealth potential, right? Or will I be rich or not? Okay, so the answer you're getting here already tell you about your wealth capacity. Okay, so I know that as all of you here have different numbers. Some of you are 70%, 40%, and some of you are 0. Thanks for being honest, right? So you have a certain amount here, right? So what you did just now is how a traditional way of when we assessing wealth. Because in old days, the question that normally people ask is like this. They ask, will I become rich or not? Right? These are asking, this is the exact question they're asking, right? So that thing that whether they become rich or not already written in their chart, right? So if the chart says cannot, that means it cannot, right? So how do they do it last time? So they look at this wealth, are so-called the strength of this wealth element. So if it says 0, I would say that the practitioner or the master going to tell the asker that your chart here indicate that you cannot become rich because it's 0, right? How depressing it is, right? So that's how they do it. If you're around 80-90%, they'll say that you can become rich. Yeah, that's how they read the chart. Yeah, is it hard or not to do this? Right, it's not hard, right? So how quick you can come up with the answer? Split seconds, right? You just need to look at the percentage. This already tell the chances. If 100% means what? A lot of opportunity available for you, right? You still need to work hard though, yeah, but opportunity is available for you. All you need to do is just to work hard, right? That's it. You're going to see more, which means that the harder you work, the luckier you are. But if you're 0, according to the chart, that opportunity are limited, right? So you need to work 10 times harder than everyone, to actually start to create opportunity, right? That is how people derive the answer from the BaZi chart last time. Okay, so now I think how many of you here have a 0 element or 0%? The percentage are 0. The value is 0. Type the word me in the box right now. Your wealth. Okay, type the word me in the box. I want to see if your wealth strength is 0. Yeah, percentage is 0 means at the center. Type the word me right now. So I see Forrest, Christine, Treating, okay, Mary, Celine, Abby. Okay, so many of you here. Okay, let me ask you right now. How do you feel? Do you still feel great? Or you feel not so great right now after you discover this? Happy means that you are celebrating right now. Yay, I have 0% of wealth element. That's what I mean, feel great. If you are not happy, then you say, oh shit, right? Yeah. How come this is my chart? I must be printed the wrong chart. Yeah, I must print it again. Okay, some of you say sad. Okay, all right. So you should feel sad if you're born like 1,000 years ago, right? Because why? Right? Because in the old days, the only way to make money is through saving money. Old days, right? Yeah. So if you live 10,000, you live 1,000 years ago, then you should be sad if you got 0%. Yeah, but now we are not, right? We are living in this current environment. You think about this at this period of time, how many way out there that can actually you can actually use to make money? There's so many ways, right? The world changed, right? The way now we have like a share market, we have our innovation, right? So crowdfunding, there are so many different ways, to make money right now. So the way we read the Barter chart, will be different. Okay, so this is what I'm going to share with you right now, right? Something that I know that when we start to learn Barter, we always look at just the wealth element, right? Yeah, we just look at the wealth element and then that's it, right? So, and then right now is the world changed so much, so do the way to make money. So we need to shift the perspective of reading the chart. Okay, the chart contents is still the same, but the way we interpret the chart will be different. So are you ready for this or not? Right, this could be really, really easy for you. So you're going to enjoy this. Yeah, so if you're ready, type the word yes right now. Yeah, in the chat box. Type the word yes in the chat box right now, so I can know you're ready to learn something new. Okay, cool. I think the one that get excited is the one that have 0 wealth element in the chart, right? Okay, I can understand that. Okay, I see so many yeses here. Okay, we're good to go. So now, when we assess someone wealth potential, we are not only looking at one point, not just on wealth. We look at 3 points, right? So there are 3 points we need to look into. One, of course, is the wealth element. That will be one. And then the second one is the output. And then the third one is resource. Okay, as I circle on the screen right now. So this is one of it, wealth. Second one is output. And then the third one here is resource element. Okay. All right. So if you don't have wealth just now, right? So there's a saving grace for you. I want you to check on the output element. Do you have some, at least it's not 0, at least, right? So do you have some value there or not? Right. For those who have wealth element is 0. Okay. So if your wealth element is not 0, it's fine, right? Then you don't need to look at it. But if your wealth element is 0, you're getting worried, you don't know what to do, right? You keep wondering, why me, why me? Now you can look at the output element and then you check whether you have any value there or not. Okay. All right. Let's say your wealth is 0. Yeah. So, and then you check your output also 0. You got one final chance here. Where do you look at? The resource element. Okay. So you no need to hit all 3 at the same time. You only need to hit one of the 3. Okay or not? Right? So, okay, it doesn't matter whether it's a lot or little right now. It doesn't care. Whether you have it or not, it's matter. How do you know you have that element? The moment is not 0 means you're having it. Okay? So no need to too concerned on the whether the strength, whether it's 100% or 10%, doesn't matter. Right? Check whether you have it first or not. If you have it, then you can play with it. Right? If you don't, then it's become harder. Okay? So everyone happy right now? So if your wealth is 0 and you check on your output is 0, then at least you must look at your resource element. So if your resource is not 0, that means that your wealth capacity is still there. Yeah, it's given to you from the start. Okay, so are you guys happy now? Right, feel better now. For those who have zero, don't complain whether it's low or high, right? So you should see some people is zero, right? If you have it, you should celebrate. Okay, I see some of you say I'm low, don't do that. Okay, if you have it, say yes, right? Mean that if you're still alive, celebrate it, right? Don't complain how I am right now. I'm poor, as at least you're alive, right? Some people now, they're fighting for their life, right? So if you have it, it's good. All right, so many of you having it, so you feel better. A lot of yeses here means that you feel better right now. Okay, all right, cool. So, and then now that is the first lesson I will share with you is to identify the wealth capacity. So as long as you hit any of these three here, means that the wealth capacity is quite good. Okay, all right. So which means that you can actually, you see, a wealth is not just money, it's the ability to actually create a quality life. Right, a lot of people talking about changing destiny, right? Then I ask them define the ideal destiny. They talk about they must have a good house, they don't need to work anymore, they must enjoy good relationship. All these things needs to come with money, right? So therefore, work on this part, and then everything else will actually becoming good, right? So I'm not asked you to sacrifice your health, right? Do you think all wealthy people you think they neglected their health? No, they're still dedicated, like the first hour in the morning to do exercise. And then after that, only they do their work one, right? So that a lot of people think all rich people, they don't take care of themselves. No, actually, they are the one that take care more of themselves rather than the others, right? Those lazy people, they just sleeping in the couch every day, watching Netflix and then eating potato chips, right? And then they keep saying that all wealthy people is not good. Actually, the wealthier they are, they're more likely they are taking care of themselves because they enjoy life so much. They want to live longer. Therefore, they see a need to take care of their health. That is their priority. Why I know this is like this, sometime I think 2 years back, I went to a gym, right? So I see some regular actually doing exercise there in a fitness center. And then I spoke to one of the regulars there. I asked him what he's doing. He's actually, he's a CEO of a company, right? Chief Executive Officer. And then I discovered that his schedule actually is very, very busy, busier than anyone, right? But he still have time to actually do exercise. Why? Right? It's not because he has a great time management. It's because health to him is important. Yeah, anything that's important to you, you're going to make time. Agree? Right? So if you want to learn, if you've discovered that you're not good in time management, the real cause of lack of time management skill is because boils down to lack of priority in life, right? Because if you don't know your priority, you don't know how to manage yourself. Don't you think so? If you know that, like some of you say health is important, right? That is your top priority already. You are clear. You make time for it no matter what, right? So you fix the time. Even at the cost of losing a client, you say it's fine, right? This hour is for myself, right? So that's the thing here. So what I try to tell you here, you still can make money, and yet you still can become healthy, and yet you still can enjoy good relationship as well, right? You need to choose either one. You can actually choose both or everything. Yeah, this is what we're talking about: work-life relationship and health integration, right? All at once. Okay. All right. So now we have these three things here that we are looking at right now. So now we're going to go to the next level, one level deeper here. Among these three things, some of you have all the three, some of you have 2 out of 3, some of you have 1 out of 3, right? So if you have more than 1 out of 3, so I want to, among these three, wealth, output, and resource, which of this is the highest? I want to check, right? Only 3 areas you need to check: the wealth corner, the output corner, and then the resource corner. Among these 3, which one is the highest? Right? Type it in the chat box right now. So there are only 3 possibilities. Either is output, either is wealth, and then either is the resource. Okay, I see some of the response already. Some of you say wealth, resource. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, just to remind you, this is the second step, right? First step, we just see whether we have great capacity of wealth or not. That one already done, right? So now we're going to look at the second step here is we want to know among these three here, some of which one is the highest. Some of you have both is the highest, is fine. So which means you have both. Okay, so check on it. Okay, all right, cool. So once you actually know this, I want to tell you what does it mean. So remember just now I told you that I'm going to share with you the direction of wealth, because a lot of you wondering, right, where is my wealth coming from? Where is the highest chance or the bigger chunk of the profit coming from? You know, so now I'm going to tell you, yeah, but you need to know which one is the highest first. Okay, so now that's why you did this exercise. Since now you already did it, now I tell you what does it mean. Okay, so let's start with wealth. Right, so if how many of you here wealth is the highest? Type the word me. Wealth is the highest. Okay, type the word me in the chat box right now. If your wealth is the highest right now among the three, is highest. Okay, Dorothy, I see is highest. JC, Aiton, Sandy. All right, okay. So if your wealth is the highest, you know, your big chunk of your money, or you want to create immense wealth, the direction of your wealth is coming from ownership. Okay, own something, right? So what do I mean own something? Maybe you start your own business, you own a business, it could be royalties, it could be a copyright, intellectual property, or it could be a business itself, or it could be the real estate, yeah, because you own assets, right? So wealth is about assets. So your flow of wealth is got to do with, you know, ownership of something. So that is the direction you should learn more. How do you acquire more? Acquiring assets. Okay, own businesses. Because wealth element is about control, right? So the question here is how much can you control? All right, so I know some of you mentioned, right, my day muscle is weak, you know, I cannot control it, doesn't matter first. Okay, so now we look at where is the source first. Later on, we fix that part, right? Whether the day muscle is weak or not, that one is later on, right? At first, we know that this is your flow of wealth or not. So for those just now who actually typed the word me, so this is your flow of wealth, ownership. Yeah, learn how to own and buy stuff. Real estate could be one, or assets, you know, asset management. You need to actually, the more you earn, the more wealthier you are, right? You're not going to work for the rest of your life, right? So once you make money, what you need to do, right? You need to actually set part of some of your money, and then you do some investment to buy stuff, right? So some people buy property, you know, then they rent it to someone else, you know, that one would be the flow of wealth or the key to great wealth for you. And again, what I'm telling you right now is not about your work, right? Because your work cannot make you become rich, right? 95% of us cannot become rich by working for others, all right? So, and because you already know that how much you're going to get in the end of the year, right? Because our salary is pretty fixed. Yeah, so what I'm talking to you right now is the flow to or the path to financial freedom. Okay, all right, so this is the one here. Now, that one is a wealth element. So let's move on to output element. So output, how many of you here output is the highest? Okay, output is the highest. Type the word me in the comment box right now. Okay, Raymond, Celine, Terrence. Okay, all right. So if your output, yeah, if your output is the highest element, your true wealth or your flow of wealth come through innovation. All right, so a product or service that you create, yeah, that's the one that actually make you rich or create the most higher potential for you to generate wealth. Okay, so some of you have the same means, you have both. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, so you can choose either one. I know some of you, the highest, the two element is the same. Maybe your wealth and output is the same, so you can use both together. You can combine. okay, to use. Don't worry, nothing wrong with you, which means you have option, right? So if your output element is the highest element, yeah, and that which means that you must learn how to create stuff, right? How to disrupt the industry, how to create a new product. So innovation is the key for you if your output element, right? If you look at Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs is very much on the output side. So which means that the way he actually create his wealth and build his company is through a lot of innovation, right? How do we disrupt the industry? And then you know that all his innovation will actually disrupt the whole industry, right? Just like the iPod changed the music industry, right? And then the iPhone changed the smartphone industry, right? There's so many things that is about innovation. So if your output is the highest, you must start to think, what are the new idea that you want to create? What are products? What are services that you want to actually develop to make impact, to the marketplace? So that is your key strength that you want to do, and if you're able to focus on this on daily basis, and then and you didn't give up, you see that a lot of opportunity available for you in terms of wealth, right? So maybe you're able to meet certain investor that willing to invest on your idea. So but first you must have a good idea first, right? So learn about that. All right. So once you have an idea, maybe the other people will invest on you, right? So this is a part that you don't need to develop the money first, So sometimes all you need is the know-how, right? Or a vision. Because if your output element is the highest, somehow you can gauge, where is the trend, the market trend will go to, So this is something that you can actually look into. Okay, all right. So that one is output for you. So the third one, how many of you here your resource is the highest? Is the resource is the highest? Type the word me in the comment box right now if your resource is the highest. I want to see who you are. Oh, so many of you. Okay. All right, good. There are so many of you here. Nice. Right. So resource element. I know some of you type the word lazy, right? Yes, resource are lazy. Okay. If a resource element, the reason they're lazy because why they're lazy? Because they figure out, there are a lot of people can do the job for them. Yeah, that's why the resource is the smartest. So the key for resource here is like that, right? So it's not just lazy, right? Lazy people normally figure out the fastest way to do something, right? So therefore, right? So if you are actually your resource is high, pay attention to this. The keyword here is leverage. You want to leverage on other people time, other people resources, other people idea, and then you turn it into a business for you. For example, like Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett is a resource is very high. So you see his company actually very small one, it's just like, few key members having to invest. So the thing here, but he's a billionaire, right? So what he do here, he don't do anything, right? But he invests on other people's businesses, right? Let other people do the job. Let other people have the brain damage to think about how do they run the company. So they just invest money into those company that he think is working out for them, right? So therefore, if you are resource, you need to, I think the first book you must go and read is Warren Buffett biography. You need to know how he think. So resources, the mentality is about compounding, right? You invest something right now, and then throughout time, you leverage time to make money, right? So they are the master of time, right? So this is the part. So if your resource is good, so if you're talking about investing, this one is about value investing. Yeah, this is not flipping, this is not speculating, but this one is more on value investing. Okay, so now remember I tell you you need to convert everything into action, right? So right now I want you to actually look into this. Is one thing here is about what can you do after this webinar, right? Otherwise you can actually attend countless of webinar, but we do nothing, right? We feel good for a while, we know, oh, okay, I know this, but you don't a lot of us doesn't follow up because we get distracted, right? Our work suddenly kicking in, and then your family demand your time, So I want to set at least like 1 hour for yourself on daily to work on yourself. So now I already tell you the information, right? So it's right now is what you need to do about this. Right? Write down one action or one simple action that lead to that one. Maybe your action here is you want to actually learn, you want to buy a book, to actually learn how Warren Buffett think. That one could be a first step, right? So if you are wealth is strong, you're talking about ownership, right? Maybe you talk about maybe I want to own real estate, right? In long term, so what I should do right now. Okay, if your output, think about idea, right? You think about what you want to create in the next near future. Now we are in the new normal, right? What is the trend right now? What people truly want right now, right? What are the industry are no longer working and they actually thirst for innovation right now, right? So fill in the gap. So if your output is strong, so which means you need to fill up the gap, right? What are the gap right now in the market? You can innovate and then you can serve those market, right? Do that part, right? So step by step, let's think about it. If you can actually spend 1 hour doing the thing according to one of these three things, 1 hour only, and you repeated this daily for the next 3 months, tell me, will you become better or not? Will your life change? Of course, right? So in life is like this, it's not one we do once in a while that create result that change our destiny. It's what we do consistently on daily basis, no matter how small it is, no matter how insignificant it is right now, but leverage over time, then through compounding, then you see that you can create success in life. A lot of people think success is overnight. Actually, it's not. It's built upon all the small action you take on daily basis. All right. So are you clear on this part? Okay, so far so good. So BaZi is a very, very interesting subject here. There are so many ways you can plug out information out, right? So and I can tell you that a lot of information here is not just from the classic, because the world changed so much. So because my job here, beside a speaker, a teacher, I'm also a consultant, right? So I see countless chart from people from different walks of life. And after that, I start to see pattern, then I compile it. How do they actually become better? How do they use their chart to become better? Actually, I compound all this thing here, and then I lock it down into a journal. I call this Iverson's secret journal. Okay, you should have your own secret journal as well. Also, I call this ISJ, secret journal here. So that's where I see all these anomalies, and all this pattern here. I write down, therefore I can share with you. Right? So if you ask me, is this information available in the classic? No, right? Because in the old day, the only way to make money is to save money, right? So they only tell you the wealth element, right? So now in the new world, that's why we need to actually shift our perspective to see it on that way, right? So this is the main guideline for you first. Okay, all right. So do you enjoy this information so far? All right. Do you like this? BaZi is not that hard, right? So, and if you do it in a structural manner, all this information here can change life, right? All you need to do just to have a growth mindset, right? You're willing to learn, willing to apply. With a little bit faith here, go to apply, because you're going to do something anyway, right? So do something that is guided, right? So therefore, you see, that's how life improves. Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay. All right, so the next are you ready for the next one? Okay, the next one here is I want to share with you something very, very interesting that I published one of the video about this as well, right? So I talk a little bit about attraction, right? I think that in our life here, our success also are not only based on our ability, also we actually need to deal with other people as well, right? We need to deal with I would say that success is our ability to manage the people that we don't like, right? Or the ability to work with the people you don't like. Don't you think so? That's how we measure success, right? So if you tell your boss, I only can work with certain group of people, you cannot become a leader, right? A leader is someone that have the ability to work with the people they hate the most, the ability to work with people that they hate a lot, right? So in their world, it's like this: you just send me anyone that's difficult, I will find a way to work with them. So don't you think if you have this ability to work with people you don't like, yeah, can you imagine how far you can go in your life? Because I discovered that a lot of people resign in their job is because they cannot work along with the boss and they cannot work along with the colleague, right? That's the reason, right? Because the thing here, they think the colleague and the boss is a problem, but they're ready to see themselves is there's a certain lack inside them that they only can work with certain group of people. The moment another group of people coming in, yeah, that's where the limit is, and then they move away, right? They resign, right? So, and then the thing here, the problem doesn't solve yet, right? The moment they work in a new company, what if another difficult group that he need to deal with? Then the same problem happen, right? Every time you move to a new company, one person will move with you, which is you, yourself, right? You're still the same person. So in the end, it's two things, right? You want to be a new person in the same company, or you want to go to a new company, yeah, but the same person. Which one you choose? New person in the same company, or same person in the new company? Now, which one do you think will change your life? Right? So if you don't like your environment right now, so probably sometimes the solution is not changing the company, you know. Yeah, what you need to do is become a new person, right? New person means what? A better version of you, right? You're more confident. You have your ability to work with people you don't like, right? So that is the one that is really, really important. So, and yes, like Lily say, new person in the same company, right? Yes, right? So new person doesn't mean you need to change your nature. I'm talking about becoming the best version of who you are, right? That's the purpose of using BaZi. So, and the chart here right now, let me just share with you, since the relationship or ability to work with people is so important, right? Because you want to get things done, right? Most of the time, we need other people to support us, to help us, right? So when we look at the chart, you take your BaZi chart out right now. Yeah, take your BaZi chart out. So I want you to pay attention to the year pillar, right? So do you see? Let me just draw it out for you right now. So this is the year pillar I'm talking about. Yeah, so this is a year pillar. Okay, so this is a year pillar. So let me just do this. So you see where the year pillar is? So the year pillar is the most external pillar, right? External. So this is a point of contact between you to the external world. So which means to your colleagues, to your friend, right? So this is the pillar, is the connector. So everyone get to know you. They get to know your year pillar first, right? So your year pillar, if the element is there, let's say is in this chart here is yin matter. So your first impression you give people, you know, it's got to do with the attributes about the yin matter. Yin matter is a bit diva, right? It's a bit dramatic. They're a bit funny. So that's how people think of this person, right? So the year pillar is the first point of contact. Yeah, remember that. So since we are talking about ability to do network and actually interact with people, don't you think we should focus a lot in the year pillar, right? The year pillar information become useful to us right now because our context right now is about what? About networking, about relate to other people, right? To the external, with the external world, right? So the year pillar is the main focus point here. So now because there's so many things I can read from the year pillar. Yeah, let me pick one out of the thing that you can actually help you to actually take certain action right now, right? So BaZi chart, of course, to change life, we cannot change our destiny overnight, but we can change our direction overnight, right? Don't you think so? Right? So for example, like if you want to change your destiny, right? You discover that every day you think about all negative thoughts. So the moment you shift your thinking from negative to become positive, like instead of asking why this thing happened to me, then you start to count your blessing, your direction will change, and eventually, given enough time, your destiny will change eventually. So a lot of people, they refuse to change something because they think it's so hard, right? Because we're talking about destiny is so big, right? From someone is struggling financially to become a millionaire is so hard, right? That's why a lot of people giving up. You know, so all the thing that they didn't know is because all they need to do is not to change destiny overnight. Yeah, that one is not that one is not practical, right? It's impossible. But one thing to change your destiny is you can change direction, right? So all direction start with the change of your mentality, yeah, the change of your thinking. So therefore, now I'm going to give you one part of this. All right. So this is not everything, but I will say that there one piece I think is very useful. So in the chart right now, I want you to focus on this animal sign here. Yeah, this animal sign here. Right. So this animal sign here is very there are only 12 animal signs, right? There are no elephant animal signs. Yeah, for God's sake, I know some of you ask, is there any elephant? I think so. One of my students asked me this question. Yeah, there are no elephant. Belong to these 12 animal signs. Okay, so there are 12 of it, like snake, dragon, rat. So I want you to identify, what is the animal sign on the year pillar. All right, so some of you, okay, you say you're tiger. Some of you here are rat. Okay, it's good. Okay, so I would like to categorize this into groups, right? So let's look at 3 groups of animal sign here, or 3 groups of animal sign. So since there are 12, so divided by 3 groups, so which means that there are 4 animal signs under the group, right? And okay, now I think all of you here typing your animal sign, right? Okay, so now remember our quest for today. Now at this moment here, we want to see how can we connect better with someone, right? What makes us more attractive, right? So we look at the animal sign. So if your animal sign is tiger, let's say I just write the word tiger, right? Is your animal sign is tiger, and then your animal sign is pig. Yeah. So and if your animal sign is monkey, or your animal sign is pardon for my writing. Okay, I'm using my mouse to write this. Yeah. So these are the 4 animal signs: tiger, pig. Yeah, tiger, pig, monkey, or snake. So you belongs to one group. So this is what we call the fun group. Okay, the funny one. Okay, how many of you here belong to this fun group? So if your year pillar is tiger, pig, monkey, or snake, then you belong to the fun group. Okay, all right. So fun group, right? So how do this fun group actually apply? So if you're a fun group and you want to connect to people easier, as the name implied, what you need to do, you need to be spontaneous. You want to be carefree, just be fun, right? So take things easy, right? Be in the now, in the present. Yeah, just like children, right? So do they worry about next week they need to actually submit an assignment? No. Yeah, all they care is about now, right? The present moment, right? They get excited easily, right? So so which means that they are in the now. So if you belong to one of these animal sign, the more you exhibit this character out, the more people find you attractive. Yeah, the more attractive people will actually feel about you. Okay, so this is your fun group for you. Okay, so this let me repeat again: tiger, pig, monkey, and snake. Right. So these are this is the one that is belong to the fun group. Okay. All right. So this is our strategy. The second one, right? The second one here is we look at the second part. Let me just write down here. So the second one here is talking about horse. Okay, horse, rat, rooster, and rabbit. If you belong to this, right? So your attraction, your first impression, this is the group you are referring to, visual. Okay. Yeah, this part is easy. Yeah, all you need to do right now is to looking good. Yeah, you need to look good. Okay, doesn't mean that you must be handsome and pretty. I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the way you carry yourself, your charisma, your body language, the sense of calm within you, confident, Basically is the way who you are, charismatic. Yeah, that is the part, inner self of confidence, right? That is the one that you need to actually focusing on. And so you need to watch out on your body language, right? How you stand, how you talk, right? The tonality that you're using, right? All these things is important, because it's visual, right? So which means that the more confident you are, the more, I would say, effortless you are, the more elegant you are, then this is what your attraction point is, right? People attracted to you through this way. Okay, can you practice this or not? Okay, but if you're the fun group, don't worry, right? You don't need to look elegant, right? Which in fact you should look opposite of elegant, right? If you're the fun group, right? You should be fun, exciting, adventurous. Yeah, but if you are this visual group, you need to look pretty. Yeah, you need to look elegant. Yeah, cannot sweating here, elsewhere, right? You must have a clean look. All these things here is something you must do, right? If you want to connect better with someone. Okay, all right. So now this leaves us to this. Can you do something about this, right? You can do, right? Remember just now, action plan. Yeah, convert information into action plan. So this is the one here. So now let this leave us to the last group here. The last group here is all the earth animal sign. So yeah, I just tell you, all right. So dragon. Yeah, okay, never mind. I write down. Okay, dragon. So what are the animal sign? The first one is dragon, and then also dog. Then ox and goat. Okay, the goatee. Good. Okay, all right. So these are the four. So if you are if you belong to one of these animal sign here, so the thing here, this is the wise group, the wise or the knowledgeable group. Okay, so which means that the reason, right, or people find you attractive because you have certain knowledge. It's so cool. Yeah, maybe you know about BaZi, and then you know how to explain it out, right? So people like your intellect, right? How you think, your taste. That is the one here, right? Maybe you develop an appreciation about wine. Yeah, you can actually talk like 12 hours just on wine alone. You have specific knowledge, a deep knowledge or certain philosophy about life that people find you so attractive, right? So if you're one of these animal sign, you need to become wise. But if you're not, then starting today, you need to become wise, right? So yeah, learn something, right? Understand life better, gain insights. So that's how people get attracted to you. Okay, so let me repeat again: dragon, the dog, the ox, and the goat, right? So these are the one this is the action plan for you. Okay, so you do that, and then you see that people will connect to you better. People want to know you, want to relate to you, and that's how there's a first step for you to create more network within your circle. Yeah, this is particularly useful if you go to a new environment, right? You want to know how to connect with people better, use BaZi. Okay, all right. So this is the thing that you can actually look into when you use BaZi. All right. So now let's do some Q&A here. You have any question about your BaZi? All right. So let's do some Q&A here. So anything about BaZi is fine. Okay. You have any question you want me to clarify? You can tap on the chat box right now. You have some concern about BaZi, or someone told you that your BaZi is not good, and then you can actually type on that part. Okay, you type on the chat box right now. I'm going to actually screen through. I'm going to pick some of your question to answer. Okay, type it there. Okay, so okay, Rina Cox say, how do I create asset creation from nothing? Okay, so asset creation, we are talking about you to buy something, right? So I think the first step here, you need to make money first, right? So if you are actually, because you say nothing, right? Nothing, I assume that now you might not have the resources to do so. So when we're talking about wealth, especially, right? So wealth, there are 3 steps to this. First step is making money first. The second step is locking the money, saving money. And then the third step is investing, right? So you need to know which stages you are in right now, right? So if you are in the first one about making money, you must learn certain skill first to make money, and then later on you save money, then only you proceed to asset creation. So if I would advise you right now, you're on stage 1 right now, learn, get education first, so you have more skill to make more money. Invest on yourself, like a certain course about investment. Plan for that out, right? So you're on the stage 1, right? Making. But when you want to create asset, that one is step 3, right? So you make the money enough, and then second step is lock the money. Lock means you save the money, and then the third step here is where you're going to do the investment, right? So start with step 1 first, education. Okay, Barbara Mock say, how do I activate my Nobleman? All right, so activate, because everyone chart in BaZi, right? Some of you are very new here. BaZi also, so how BaZi talking about the probability of actually getting help from others. So we use the term Nobleman, right? So Barbara Mock asked about how do I activate my Nobleman. First of all, you need to check whether your chart got Nobleman or not, right? So if you check out Nobleman, then you can actually identify where it is. It could be the year, month, day, and hour, right? So you see where is the location where you can find more Nobleman. And each of the element, let's say discover that your element is in the year pillar, right? Let's say, right? Or some of you, your Nobleman pillar actually is in the year. You already know, right? If you stay in the office, you're not going to meet those people, right? So to activate it, what you need to do, activation mean action, right? So what action you need to do? So you need to find a work where you put an environment where you can meet with different people on daily basis, because your Nobleman's element is indicated in the chart is outside, right? So you need to position yourself in the year pillar, or which is outside, do more networking, then you activate the Nobleman star. All right. So activation talking about certain action, position where you want to be, that you can meet Nobleman. All right. So BaZi shall tell that if you discover deep dive into BaZi, and also they also tell you about what you can do to create more Nobleman, right? How you can behave, all these things here will be more detailed, but I think you get the gist here, right? It's about certain action you need to take. Okay. Joyce. Okay, let me see Joyce's question here. So Joyce's question, how much inaccurate will my chart be if I don't know birth time, right? Because if you don't have birth time, you have 3 pillars out of 4. So I would say that you still have 75%. I would say that accuracy of the chart is pretty good, right? 75%, right? So I would say that, don't worry about 100% accuracy, right? Because a lot of people, even they know everything, they don't even do 1% out of it, right? So even 75%, in order to become successful, you don't need to do all the 75%. You just need to do like 10% out of it. You already see a lot of results in your life, right? So it's not about having how accurate it is, so it's about how effective you are of using the chart. Some people, they just use the year pillar, they already can create a lot of things already, right? So don't worry, you're not missing out. Okay. Okay, so let's see this question here. So Jasmine, if you have a low resource but a lot of wealth and output, how can I use a better version of me? All right, so first of all, if you want to know a better version, right, you need to know what you want first, right? In the end, we need to start with end of mind, right? Because better version, there are so many possible answer to this, right? So to some people, better version mean they are healthier body, they are more leaner, they have 6-pack, they're always a better version of themselves, right? Some people, it's about finance. So you need to, first of all, you need to define what is a better version, attributes of a better version, what is it like? And then you use your BaZi chart to actually support the goal. Right? It's not about whether you have low resource or low wealth. That one is irrelevant, right? So because your chart is already there, right? So all you need to do is identify your end goal and then look at your chart to see how can you use certain information from the chart to get it there, right? So first of all, the goal must happen first, and then only look at the chart. All right. So this is the purpose for us to learn BaZi. I know when you learn BaZi, a lot of people worry about clash, right? And then harm, 7 killings, all these things here. Yes, there are all these things. We have some obstacle, but if you learn BaZi in the right way, you know how to handle all these obstacle along the way, reduce the impact, or maybe divert the crisis as well, right? So these are the few things we can look into. Okay, some of you say death and emptiness. There are so many things here. So they are so, like I say, right? Yeah, in the chart, normally people will look at so many things, right? Like I see a lot of questions here. You ask about, the thing about death and emptiness, about destruction. I see so many death and emptiness question here already, right? So I think it's human nature. Every time we look at the chart, we always look at the bad thing first, right? Death and emptiness, and then clash and all these things, right? Think about this, right? If you switch a little bit here, instead of looking for all this so-called the scary terminology in the BaZi chart, can you look at the good side of the BaZi, right? Maybe you start with a question, right? How come my BaZi chart is so beautiful? How come my BaZi chart is so beautiful, right? If you ask this question, you actually can find a lot of good stuff about your chart, right? So, but that is opposite of what we're doing, right? I'm guilty as this as well. Whenever I learn my BaZi, I always look at clash first, death and emptiness. After I learn all this, I discover all this. In the end, it doesn't serve me well. It makes me even more depressed. And then if after reading the chart, it make you more depressed than you were before, it means there's something wrong already, right? The chart is using you. You are not using the chart anymore. Do you realize this, right? So then it seems like the chart control your life. There's so many things you cannot do anymore because your chart say unfavorable element, and then clash here, clash there, and then you just know the concept, then you get worried, right? No one actually explained to you what it means. Then you develop a lot of so-called fear inside you, and then you cannot lead your life in the way that is enjoyable, right? Because the purpose of Chinese astrology, be it BaZi, Feng Shui, Qi, the whole purpose here is not to limit your freedom, right? The whole purpose here is to give you more freedom and more happiness, But a lot of people, once they see the chart, they limit themselves. This cannot do, that cannot do because it's unfavorable. There's a clash. That's where the restriction, this self-imposed restriction coming in, right? So you don't do that, right? That's not the right way of you using the astrology chart. Okay, all right. So let's see here. Okay, is there a way to use BaZi to improve your relationship with partner and parents? If there are conflict between parents and partner, yes, it is, right? Because everyone chart also tells you what is important to them, right? Some people, respect is very important. It's actually beyond anything else, right? So for them, so look at the chart, look at what is their driving force in the chart, then you know how to communicate with them. Some people, they're influenced by their friend better, right? So instead of pursuing them, you persuade their friends or you relate something to their network, right? So that is how you actually influence. So everyone is different. So the BaZi chart can tells you, what is already influenced that person, what is truly important to that person, right? So some people, the most important thing to them is about loyalty, right? So whenever you communicate with them, that's the one you want to talk about. Talk about trustworthiness, stability, loyalty, right? Then they can relate to you. Some people, they're driven by adventure, right? So if you're talking about something exciting, something new, then they're looking forward to it. Yeah, then they can relate to you better. So the answer is yes, there's one way you can use your BaZi. By knowing their BaZi chart, you know their mode of operation, how they think, you can relate to them better. Okay, all right. So this is the... Okay, this Selim here. So sitting, 7 killing, hurting officer, current love pillar. How do you interpret this combination? All right. So this is about love pillar, right? So I think some of you probably already know what is a love pillar is. Love pillar is our life our phases of life that change. Every 10 years there'll be a big change, right? So to answer your question here, if you go through a hurting officer luck pillar, so you don't worry about combination first, right? You can look at it just a hurting officer luck pillar, right? Hurting officer luck pillar is a pillar about where you can actually showcase your skill. You can become popular, and you can actually have the ability to meet with a lot of different people, right? So for me, when I go through hurting officer luck pillar, this is the time I actually decide to actually change my career from a programmer to become a speaker. Yeah, that's exactly so that's why your situation here actually are very relatable to me, because that's a time I consciously decide, I need to actually make a shift, and I'm glad that I did. So otherwise, I'm still the frustrated programmer that I'm used to be, right? So for you here, going through a current luck pillar is hurting officer. So by all means, develop your speaking skill, or you want to become a trainer or a speaker, there will be one. Or you can actually become a great marketeer as well, because hurting officer is about self-expression, right? It's about how do you market something. It's also about a period where you can create a lot of new products or services, right? So this for you, you want to know, right? So, and seven killing is a challenging element. So which means that through certain obstacle that you are, so that's why it's not easy for you, right? You want to actually do public speaking, or want to learn how to speak, how to market. 7 killing represent they are haters, right? There's someone say they shouldn't do this. Maybe you're too young, you're too old, right? So don't actually care about them, right? Just proceed, right? Because you clearly know that this is what you want. Then don't get bothered by all these haters. It could be the 7 killing effect on the chart. Okay, so this is for you. So some of you here talking about luck pillar, right? So let me just show you example here about the luck pillar on the screen. So the luck pillar is this part, right? This is the part about the luck pillar. Luck pillar will change every 10 years. This is the part, right? So if you want to know where you are or which luck pillar you're going through, you look at the highlighted one. The light highlighted in the green, in the beige color. Yeah, that is the one that we are talking about, the luck pillar, right? Inside there, of course, there's so many things inside, right? Some of them are challenges, some of them are opportunity, right? So there are so many information, so you can actually read on the chart, right? There's so many different things, right? So talk about wealth, talking about relationship, talking about health. There are so many things here. So now maybe you can take a look at your chart right now, look at your luck pillar. Right, you look at your luck pillar, right? So if your luck pillar, let's say if your luck pillar, you discover that you have a lot of earth element. How many of you here discover that you have a lot of earth element? A lot of earth. On top and bottom of your luck pillar, also a lot of earth element. Let me give you some generic reading. So let's say on top is also earth, bottom also earth. Type the word me, or you discover that your current luck pillar a lot of earth element. Okay, so so if a lot of earth element, there are two things here, right? So there are only two possibility. The trivial one is like this: if a lot of earth element, it's very easy for you to become fat during that luck pillar. Okay, you're going to gain weight, easier, because there's something blockage. There's one reading to it, and then the second one are earth element. If you go through a earth element is an element that doesn't move. All right. So the moment you go through a full earth element, talking about also talking about stagnation, talking about hitting a plateau. So which means that your current knowledge right now already hit to the max. It's a time to leave your comfort zone and then learn something new again. Okay, so this is one. So there are only two interpretation here. The generic interpretation. Either you gain a lot of weight easier than you used to be, right? That's one. And then another one here, you already reached your plateau, right? So it's a time for you to actually learn something new and then create another new breakthrough, right? So because all earth element represents stagnation, lack of growth, right? So therefore, education is something that are really, really important to you. Okay. I know that some of you asked the question, how about death and emptiness? How about wood and fire? There's a lot. right? I cannot explain to each of you here. There's so many of you here, right? So I will give you a concept here. We can actually look at elements is one of it, like the 5 elements. They can look at depth and emptiness. You know, there's so many things inside. You can look at into it. Yeah, I wish that I could have time to actually read through all the possible chart that all of you here posted here. But if I do that, yeah, it will actually think you're going to spend like 10 hours in this webinar, right, to explain each of this. Okay, so maybe next time we have time, we do this in slow motion. Yeah, but right now, the webinar here, the purpose here is to teach you how to use your chart, right? So far, do you enjoy this webinar? Do you learn something new? Remember, we talked about the wealth flow just now, right? The wealth flow, you know, where you should go in terms of your wealth. We're talking about attraction, right? So we also touched a little bit about the love pillar here, right? Okay, all right. So don't worry. Of course, there will be a time that you can actually learn more things, right? So there will be a time, right? Don't worry about that, right? Because if you're interested, you actually find a way to do this. Okay, so this leads us to one thing I'm going to share with you right now. I think this is very, very interesting. So I want to hear your opinion on this, right? So let me share with you one thing. Once you learn BaZi, one thing will happen, right? So let me share you the screen here. Yeah, this is something will happen. Yeah, this is what happened to me. Yeah, is this question: is my destiny chart good enough? How many of you asked yourself this question before? Right. So this is a question I repeatedly asked myself when I started to learn BaZi. Right. So this question here, right? Is my destiny chart good enough? Do you ask this question or not? Yes, right. We constantly, and then you see this chart here. There are so many arrows in the chart, right? And then there are so many people, right? There are so many people actually give you different information. Some of them scares you off, right? Some people say, okay, your unfavorable element is wealth, which means that you cannot make money. Yeah. Some of you say your chart here too much water, therefore you cannot drink water, right? Nonsense, right? So some people will have all these questions in your chart, then the more people you ask, and then the more depressed you are, because different people, you know, give you, you know, different so-called information, right? Some of you suddenly tell you, okay, do you have horse or not this year? This year there's a clash, right? Because this year is a year of rat, right? There'll be a clash, right? If in a month, that means lost your job. You know, some people just tell you stuff like that without really looking inside what is the change happening, right? So we have all this so-called scary information from some unsolicited advice, or some of them are untrained practitioner. Right? That they might actually have a good intention, but they don't know there are half-baked knowledge might actually doing more harm than good. Right. So therefore, I know that a lot of people say, right, I have a depth and emptiness, you know, is it something bad or not? Right. So a lot of people worry about it. That's why just now I see a lot of people asking this question. Right. So let me clarify this doubt for you here. So let me show the next screen. Okay. The best destiny chart does not exist. Right. They are only the best user. Do you agree with this or not? Right. Even a lot of people start comparing which chart is better. That doesn't exist. Right. Think about this, right? Michael Jordan chart. There are 30,000 people have the same chart as Michael Jordan. But how come there only one Michael Jordan? Right? You cannot say Michael Jordan chart is great chart because the remaining 29,999 doesn't achieve the success as he did. Right? So a lot of people, they're spending a lot of time comparing the chart. Right? Which chart is better? There are no such chart. There are no so-called the best chart. But there are one thing that exists. They are the best user or a better user. Yeah. So the first question, if you want to benefit from learning BaZi, is to ask yourself this question, right? So are you using BaZi or BaZi using you? Right? So if you always look at the chart, you keep asking what I must do according to the chart, what I should avoid, then the BaZi are using you, right? Because you let the BaZi chart tell you what you should do, you know. It should be the other way. Yeah, the BaZi chart is to serve you. So you must decide what you want to do and then use the chart to make you become better, right? So therefore, this is the first question you need to ask. Are you using BaZi or you let the parter use you. If you allow, right? So if you give the permission for the parter to use you, which means that you live your life with a lot of fear. All the clashes, all the harm and punishment is detrimental to you, right? So therefore, in the end, even someone have the same chart with you, doesn't have the same destiny, because like I tell you, are you a better user of your chart or not? Or even better, are you the great user of your chart? Right? Because you might have the same chart, yeah, but you might use the chart differently, correct or not? Right? So because there's so many characters in the chart, you decide which element you need to harness more. Right? So this is very important. I want to let you know, because you're learning parter, this is the key. This is the defining factor whether someone can become successful using the chart or not. Is boils down to this question: are you using parter or parter using you? Right? So I think this is the one that you need to look into. You need to put back the remote control, to you, right? So which means that you are the one owning the chart, right? Tell that this is the one you want to use, right? So there are three cycle you need to go through, to master the art or use the parter chart better. Yeah, let me show you what it is. So the great user, how do you become a great user of the chart? Right. So first of all, when we learn parter, we are go through this stage, right? Understand. We know our day master, what it is. We know our strength. We know our weaknesses. We know when is opportunity coming. But once you understand, it's not enough, right? Because a lot of time, 95% of the people that didn't take action. Yeah, have you met someone that after they learn 10 years of parter, but their life is still the same? It's not because parter is not working. It's because the reason is because they are not working, right? So they are the one that actually doesn't use the chart. So I think the next step here, by understanding alone, will not change your life. So the next step here, you need to learn how to apply it, how to use it, right? And then you need to know what is the action you've taken. Then the parter chart should actually derive all those action plan out for you to do something. And then if you do it long enough, you apply this, and then you can transcend the parter. Yeah, which means that some problems that you're facing from your original chart, you are already overcome it for good. Don't you think that's what we want? We are not just want to apply on parter. We want to transcend it, right? So this problem doesn't bothering with me anymore. Yeah, so that is the area that you actually need to get to. So how many of you here interested to go through this kind of journey of learning parter? Right? So this is a very different way, right? A lot of people just know, I want to know my day master, want to know everything, right? But in the end, the life doesn't change at all, right? So because they doesn't actually know that there are steps of doing this. So how many of you here interested? Yeah, if you allow me to guide you, how do you go through this step by step? How to use parter, you become the best user of your own chart. Okay, I see a lot of me here. All right, cool. So yeah, this is the one that I use for myself. How do I actually apply on the thing I'm doing? And also I help my client as well. So if you are interested on this, yeah, let me share with you. This is something I haven't shared before. Probably is the first one. I'm going to actually take all this information from my journal, from my experience, from my findings, to actually put it together. And if you are interested to learn this together, go through this learning journey together. So I already compiled this. I'm going to show you right now. This is the online stream class, a new one that I'm going to teach on 15 and 16 August 2020. It's online. It's a live stream. So this is the 2 days program. You can learn at the comfort at your own home. Right, so the title of this is very, very interesting. Bad chart, great destiny. Right, because even how do you actually convert a bad chart? Right, even you are given a bad chart or you don't like there's a death and emptiness, there's a clash, there's a punishment. How do you actually convert that to become a great destiny? Because your parter chart doesn't determine your destiny, right? But how you use the chart, is the one that determines your destiny. Don't you think so? Therefore, I actually compile all this know-how. How do you use your parter into these 2 days, step-by-step structure program? How do you use your chart to create a new direction for it, right? So therefore, I call this is the ultimate playbook for greatness. Right? I haven't reviewed this before, and this is the first time I'm going to do it, right? And since you're hearing me right now, you are the first batch here, right? So, and you're listening to this. So do you like this kind of knowledge or not? Yeah, first of all right, I haven't do this before, right? I'm keep thinking, right? People keep learning stuff inside, right? But no one actually or they didn't know that actually they can use their parts chart differently one, right? So this is the one that I'm going to share with you, right? So, and let me share with you what is I'm going to share on this. I'll believe that the success of using our chart is our ability to solve problems, right? So think about this. No matter how successful you are in life or how great you are, our life never runs out of problem. The one who becomes successful is their ability to solve the problems, right? Money problems or maybe relationship problems or health problems. They manage to overcome on it. Therefore, we call it success. So the one I'm going to actually talk about is this one of it, right? In this program here is the 5 life disruptors. So any of this element here which will actually throw your life off course, and a lot of people worry about this, right? So as I mentioned just now, some people worry about clash like this year, or the 6 pillar clash, right? Happened in my chart. What happened? What if it's clash in the luck pillar? What happened? So it's more importantly is you want to know exactly what is the clash is, and more importantly, how do you navigate it, right? How do you mitigate it? Right, so that's the one. Then also another one is also harm. A lot of harm normally associated with betrayal, right? So how do we detect it and how do we work around with this? Don't you think this is more important, right? Than rather to know that, okay, clash is happening, then I worried, I don't know, then keep asking around, everyone give you a different answer. Why don't you know it for once and for all? Then you know how to navigate your life properly, right? So about punishment as well. And then also destruction, in the chart, sometimes it happens. Right, like this year is a year of rat, right? Rat will form a destruction with a rooster, right? So if you have a rooster in the chart, you might have a destruction relationship on between these two animal side. We want to know how to solve this. And also, one of the popular one is 7 killings. A lot of people actually are asking about 7 killings, right? This is one of the most feared element. A lot of people ask me, my love pillar going through 7 killings, right? What does it mean? Right? Is it a bad thing? So we're going to teach you how to manage this 7 killing. And if you're able to manage this 7 killing, actually can work out to your favor one, right? So, and then some of you are beginner, you're actually asking, am I actually able to understand this or not? The answer is yes, right? Because this program here is not to tell you all the technical or the why behind, right? Because I discover a lot of people learn so many things, in the end, their life doesn't change. This program here talking about how do you use the chart, right? So it's for beginner, and even you're expert intermediate, you might be surprised, there are so many ways you can look at your own chart and then you can do something about it. Remember just now, there are no such thing called the best chart in the world, but they're only the best user. So are you the one or not? So this program here is to train you to become one, right? So there are much more things, right? So we also want to turn all your chart weaknesses into strength as well. That is important, right? So this is the one, right? I think a lot of people worry about unfavorable elements, right? The unfavorable elements here, there's one. And then some people worry about death and emptiness, right? Remember just now, a lot of people asking about death and emptiness. How do you actually convert this into opportunity? I'm going to share with you about this. How about missing elements? A lot of people worry, I'm missing good element, and how, right? So put this to rest for once and for all. You know everything, so no need to worry, right? So the rest here, then you just actually working out for, you just focus on your action, right? You need to actually let all this fear actually behind, you need to know exactly what it is and how do you work around with this. And then the fourth thing here is weekday master, right? Some people talking about, my day master is weak, then what can I do, right? So I'm going to talk about that, right? So I would say this will be a full-fledged parts usability program, okay, right? And then you also want to know, is your current luck stacked against you or not? Remember just now we talked about the luck pillar, right? So are you against the flow right now in terms of luck, or are the flow with you, right? So therefore, I'm going to also share with you how do you deep dive into your luck pillar and what I call the luck manipulation protocol. How do you make every luck pillar is the best luck pillar ever to you? I think that's important, because a lot of time, if you based on traditional reading of parts, sometimes they tell you your best life actually happens on the age of 92, and now you're only 22, right? So how depressing it would be, right? So yeah, so don't you think that we should make best of every luck pillar we have right now, right? So to make every luck pillar your masterpiece. So therefore, I'm going to add this part in because I discovered that a lot of people worry about the luck pillar, right? So this whole program here is after I understand a lot of people worries, and I see that a lot of people depressed for no reason. Therefore, I created this program to address this part. And all is step by step is easy, right? And then if you cannot actually attend the actual day, because I know some of you actually live in different time zone, right? So there'll be a replay for this, right? So you ask the team later on, how many days you can actually get the replay for, talk to them, there'll be a replay. Yeah, don't worry if you cannot attend it live. But I would suggest you to attend live so I can interact with you more, right? So this is the one here. And I'm going to teach this once, right? So, and then make life happening for you, right? So this is the one I'm going to share more. There's so many excited content, I put it from my journal. So discover and attract hidden noblemen. I know some of you don't have noblemen in the chart, but maybe you have a hidden nobleman you don't know. I'm going to teach you a technique. How do you actually discover this hidden nobleman? And also, I also want to actually create unfair advantage on how do you heal and rebuild your destiny, right? Sometimes your chart is broken, right? There's a clash, all those things. How do you actually heal and rebuild the chart so you can actually give you a positive energy to move forward? Yeah, so that's the one. And also, right, so how do you develop a new winning mentality? I think that's important. Every success in life starts with internal first, right? So this is the part I'm going to. So this is a very holistic program to make you become better. And it's not enough because everything I do, I always determine to actually go to the next level, always a new standard, right? If you actually attended my program, so every program I did, I need to raise the bar, right? So I'm going to add more things inside this program here. So I want to actually do this thing here. Rediscover your destiny. I'm going to teach you how to relate your parser to your achievement destiny chart. There's a connection, right? For example, like your parser chart, your wealth element represent wealth, right? So in your achievement chart, life though also represent wealth. How can you connect these two together to give you a holistic view of your wealth element and different aspect of your life? So if you have this understanding, a more holistic view of your destiny, you can know more options what you can do. Yeah, this is the part I haven't teach before, and I'm going to share with you how do you connect your parser to the achievement connection. Do you like this so far? Right, so yeah, so I'm so excited about this, right? I'm so psyched about this. I hope you are, right? There are so many things I'm going to talk about. There'll be more. Of course, what I share with you here is not everything. There are much more coming up because my mind keep working all the time, right? The moment I have new idea, I'm going to actually incorporate into the thing here. Okay, so I think the another one that I think is really important, I need to add it in the course, is about this. Secrets to reshape your destiny, right? A lot of people talking about changing destiny and how do you change your destiny? Because you see, a lot of people, they successfully make a change, but only for a short period of time, right? Like someone actually, they want to lose weight, they go for jogging, exercise, but after there are 2 weeks, they revert back to the old self again, right? Some people, they are determined to make a lot of money, but after 2 weeks, and then they actually stop doing that, right? So how do you secret to reshape your destiny actually come from one thing? Do you have the ability to create lasting change or not, right? So here I'm talking about lasting change, right? Lasting change means that a lot of people talking about happiness. Do you able to achieve a sustainable and lasting happiness? Every time you get maybe you get a promotion, you get a rise in your salary, you feel happy, right? Think about this. How long you can stay happy? Maybe one maximum 1 month, right? So you offer more, right? So how do you create lasting change? So when we look at parser chart, a lot of people study about the top, right? But the thing here is the most important is what is contained within, because this is the root of the chart. This is your fundamental. So if you want to strengthen, you want to develop your willpower, you want to create lasting change, you focus on work at the bottom part because this represents the root rather than on top. I know a lot of people focus more on top, right? Your day master and all those things. That one is starting, but you're talking about changing life. I would like to focus on the roots because this is who you truly are inside, embedded inside. That is the secrets to lasting change, Okay, so therefore, so there are much more, right? I cannot share with you everything here, but I tell you that I think this information alone, can actually is have a lot of value, right? Can add. Imagine you have all this information, you use your chart differently, you see your chart differently, therefore you can create different outcome in your life, right? So, and basically we're talking about it gives you a 360-degree analysis in your parts. You have different angle to doing this. So would you like to actually learn all this information or not? Yeah, think about if you have all this information with you, think about how your life can be different in terms of finance, relationship, health, or even just simple as happiness. Right now, you don't worry much about your partner chart, but you have more energy to actually move further, move forward. Right. So if you are actually interested to join me on this one-time only program, type the word yes in the comment box right now. I want to see who you are. Yeah, because I'm going to actually give you something, right? Something extra for you. Okay, all right. So I think now, let me share with you the investment cost for this program here. Yeah, because all training, not only this, every program you want to learn require investment, right? So and the good thing here is this is the investment. There's only a small fraction you need to invest for this program here. So it's a live stream on 15 and 16 August, and then the price is 497 USD, right? So and then this is a price that the retail price for this course here. And the thing here is now we are going through COVID-19. Right, and you discover that, don't you realize that a lot of online courses are available right now? So because people cannot get to travel, so we also decided to do this online. I think one of the benefit here is a lot of people from overseas can benefit from this program. If you happen to know someone or your friend that interested on this, share with them, right? You might actually help someone, right? By discovering their chart, they feel happier about the chart, then they can do more things, right? They feel more confident. So if you're interested on this, because now we do this online, we no need to actually pay all the rental costs to rent the hall for the live class. So we have some saving, and we would like to pay back this saving for you, to give back to you. So this is something I can actually work with you. So if you're interested to join this today, instead of 497, that's the original price. It might revert back later to the original price. But right now, since you actually support us here attending this webinar, and this will be the first one to get this information, you actually today, if you decided to join this program, and this information is for lifetime, right? The knowledge you have here, you can actually use for lifetime. That's what I mean, right? So I think this is think about this, right? If you divided this on 1 year, it's like $25 per month. Right? For you divide 12 months, right? So how 25? What can you do with $25 per month, right? Why not you invest on some knowledge you can help yourself and help other people, right? So if you actually join us today, you're going to save $200 US, right? So this is the one I can actually work for you, right now. Okay, so if you're interested, that is a link on the right hand side. There's a blue box. You click on the link, and then you do that. All right. So all the successful people, the moment they discover something is good for them, they'll decide right away, because they know it's good for them, right? So I want you to actually think about that, what you truly want. If you decided to do this, this is the time, right? Because this class is really limited. But one thing here, right? How many of you here have you seeing yourself actually joining this program and benefit from this? Type the word yes right now. Right, type the word yes. Okay, all right. So if some of you cannot see the blue box, there's a link on top of there. You can click on it, right? So to encourage you further, right, for this time, to encourage you further, I'm going to actually, for the first 20 sign-ups today, first 20, I'm going to do this for you. You to get one more bonus for you. A limited bonus, yin and yang secrets. Okay, this is applicable. If you learn Bazi, you learn Feng Shui, you learn Qi, right? So this is everything fundamental are come from yin and yang. I haven't do this before, right? I'm going to explain to you how the universal code, and if the moment you understand the concept of yin and yang, then when you apply BaZi Feng Shui Qi, you have a deeper understanding, and then you can understand how the universe works. I haven't teach this before, and if you decided to join us tonight, for the first 20, you get this limited bonus. It's a live stream. Okay, so do you like this or not? Right? This is like you learn BaZi, you learn Feng Shui. The first fundamental, you're going to go through yin and yang, because this explains the how destiny work, how the universal work, right? So that is the one you're going to do. So do you like this bonus or not? Right? So if you like this bonus, and this is the link here, right? So if you want to secure it, for this, you just click on the link right now. It's joeyup.com/greatdestiny, right? So this is the link. You just click on it, and then you just as long you can see the payment page, you already inside the top 20 already. You don't worry. Yeah, because some of you here wondering, will I get the top 20 price or not? As long you can make payment, you already are eligible for the top 20. Unless the page will tell you, if you're not eligible, the payment page won't appear. It will tell you that the top 20 already taken up. As long you can see the page right now, you already secure the top 20, right? So if you decided to do it, yeah, do it now. And then I'm excited that I'm going to actually go through this first time ever teaching a program how to use BaZi. So therefore I say, bad chart, great destiny, right? So this is the ultimate playbook for greatness. We only live once, right? So it's our job, our responsibility to make this is the best life ever. It's our responsibility to make this is our masterpiece, and it's our responsibility to provide the best environment for our families, for our friends, and for the society, right? So click on the link right now, and then I shall see you on 15 and 16 August 2020, and it will be fully online, and you also get the bonus of yin and yang, the secret of universal code. Okay, all right. So I hope you enjoyed this this webinar here, and my this good news here today, right? So this is the first piece. You are the first one to get to know this. So if you think this is right for you, because eventually you need this information anyway, right? After you learn BaZi, you also need to learn how to use BaZi, right? Yeah, think about this. Eventually, if you don't do it now, eventually 1 year from now or 2 years from now, eventually you need this, right? But I'm not sure, right? Whether going to teach that next year, I'm not sure yet. So most probably I won't. Yeah, but if you decided this is something you want, you do it right now. And even you can use this to actually complement you as a BaZi coach. Some of you want to do BaZi coach, right? You actually want to actually do this to help people. I think that would be a perfect one, because this chart is about usage. How do you use it? How do you put into action? How do you mitigate certain stuff, right? That's all about it. Okay. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this webinar, and you like this new program of mine here. So, if you actually are interested, yeah, join us. And otherwise, I hope to see you again in the next event. And I'm truly happy to spend like 2 hours here with you here. And this webinar is not ended yet, so you can actually still chat with all our wonderful teams here. They're going to answer as much question as they can, on the chat box. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I hope to see you guys again, and stay happy and stay healthy. I'm Iverson. I wish everyone have a blessed life. See you guys.